Hello and welcome. I am Deji Badimasi. Now, the politics of zoning in the 2023 general elections is one of the biggest talking points in the country right now, especially in the two major political parties in the country. A common factor, the All Progressives Congress APC and the People's Democratic Party PDP have to contend with in picking their presidential candidates is geopolitical. So now, through the years, power rotation that sees the old northern and southern regions exchange baton has become the tradition, or so we thought. However, as we move closer to the elections, there is so much controversy over zoning and rotational presidency in the two parties. President Muhammadu Buhari, a northerner, would be concluding his 8-year term come May next year. Now, ordinarily, you would think it is time for power to move to the south, but it seems things are not as straightforward as that, at least not with the two political parties. In the PDP, quite a number of high-profile politicians from the north are aspiring for the party's presidential ticket now, that's what I should say. And to be candid, many of them are serious contenders. In principle, they are not opposed to zoning, but they argue that the party has to choose between winning the next polls and upholding some gentleman's agreement. In the ruling APC, the situation is not really different. Before now, the general assumption has been that the party's ticket will automatically go to the south. But in recent weeks, the party's leadership has been sounding quite equivocal over the issue. Last week, after the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, met with the president, he addressed journalists at the presidential villa, categorically saying that the party is yet to take any position on zoning. So with their primaries just weeks away, the two major parties have now thrown their presidential tickets open for anybody from any zone to contest the presidency. The question now is, why is this particular election different? Why is it difficult for the parties to zone their presidential ticket? Well, joining me on the program right now to discuss this and other issues, of course, is Dayo Kayode, who is a political technocrat. He joins us from another part of Lagos via Zoom. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the program. Let me quickly get your take on this controversy that we're that we're seeing at the moment. It's not something, many of us expected. We thought this would have been straight cut, especially with the APC. But somehow it appears the issue of zoning, it appears that the parties are basically jettisoning zoning, so to speak.
The question I even want to first of all ask this afternoon is, has there ever been anything like rotational presidency in Nigeria?
Of course, it's not in the constitution, but the assumption, and it's...
The only thing in the constitution is federal character. And of which even me, I don't believe in it, because it's allowing us to lose some capacious people in certain positions. But let us leave that one aside. But the question is, has there ever been that issue of rotational presidency in Nigeria? People have been talking about it, no doubt about it, no doubt about that. But has it been followed? No. When Shehu Shagari was contesting to get the ticket in MPN then, some other people from the south contested against him. So also in UPN then. Now, even in 1999, how many people contested for that particular ticket of PDP? Even let us go to that during the time of Abiola.
No, we can't deny that the decision then was to zone the presidency in 1999, to zone the presidency to the southwest. Yes, I'm talking about the PDP itself. I'm not talking about all other political parties. Of course, you're right. We saw people contest.
What I'm saying is, issue of rotational presidency has always been reoccurring in Nigerian politics. But it has never been followed. And it has never been, the only thing is, it has never been as loud as, and why has it never been as loud as today cannot be compared to the level of political enlightenment of yesteryears. So that's why it seems that it is a bit loud. Let us leave that also aside. When you look at Nigeria today, we don't need a sessional leader. What we need now is a situational leader.
But are you saying that zonal I mean, rotating the presidency would create a sectional leadership. I doubt it.
Exactly.
No, but
exactly.
how is that going to create a sectional leadership? We're just talking about,
I
mean, isn't this about addressing a seeming, potential banana peel in the country that, an issue that could actually throw the country into a serious political crisis?
No. There are a lot of people now that are beating the drum of war for nothing. And it is normal. It's all about politicking. Trying to see if they flex muscle. If they say certain things, then that particular presidency will come to them. But
let's face it, how do you think you can redress the challenge of, giving people a sense of belonging, so to speak, in this country? If you
and I will tell you now.
Yes.
And I will tell you, you can give people sense of belonging by not saying things that will open the wound of yesteryears.
Are we not running away from the realities of our country?
Stop referring to issues that will open the wounds of yesteryears. Let us be frank. Let us hit the nail on the head now. A lot of people have been saying, yes, you cannot trust the Southeasterners. Why? Because of the civil war. And I've been asking them, can a single person fight a war? No.
Absolutely not.
The civil war was fought by Biafran army and the Nigerian army. So why are you now putting the whole thing on the Southeasterners? And what were they saying then? Let us have politics of inclusiveness.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you don't have zoning, then how can you have politics of inclusiveness?
And I will also tell you, by ensuring you don't spew what you are not supposed to spew to their faces. Listen, sometimes listen, can you tell me the state that Brother Bidemi comes from, or Sister Pelosi? Brother Bidemi, I mean Biden in America, or Pelosi. Can you tell me the state they're from?
But I think you might be making. Are you not making a big mistake? Are you not making a big mistake here comparing Nigeria to America? I mean, our situation is quite peculiar. We can't deny that. We can't deny that there are divisions in this country. We can't deny that there are geopolitical zones in this country. And we can't deny the fact that these things exist. Even at the state level, we see the way the issue of zoning also comes up at the state level as to what part of a state, for instance, the governor of a state should come from. Let me just ask you this pointedly. Do you think it will be right, for instance, to continue to have the president of this country come from a section of the country? You think people will be satisfied with that?
Listen, can you tell me which section, if you are now looking at the south and the north,
yes,
the president of Nigeria has never come from?
Okay, let me.
Baba Obasanjo is from the south. Listen, Baba Obasanjo is from the south.
Yeah.
This president is from the north. So what are we talking about? You see, the issue of sectionalism in Nigerian politics.
Okay, let me ask you this. You just said something.
Those that are politically lazy.
Now, would it also be right that after the current president would have spent 8 years in office, that another northerner takes over from him? Do you think that would be politically correct? Do you think that would be politically right?
Will it also be right? Will it also be right? Just because we don't want another northerner to be the president, for us to now put somebody there that, number one, will not be able to ensure
but that means but that argument but hold on, your argument doesn't, but that argument
will not be able to ensure
hold on
insecurity that is in the country.
Hold on, your argument is faulty, because your argument assumes that you can't find this person in any other part of the country other than the north. Is that what you're trying to say? I disagree with you.
Are we now also saying?
No, but I'm just asking you, because the fact is that
better.
Yeah.
We should now not bring that person in.
How then do you come to the conclusion that someone else from a particular part of the country will do it better than people from other parts? Wouldn't
let
you
me
even
first
try
show you
people from
this.
the other parts and then
let me show
them
you
try
this.
and
Let me
fail?
show you this.
Yeah.
Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Some people are saying yes for equity, justice, fair play. Presidency should move to the south. Meanwhile, some are now saying it should be southwest. If truly you want presidency to move to the south because of equity, justice, and fair play, then let it go to southeast.
That is not even.
Then let
That
it
is
go
not
to
even.
southeast.
That is not even the
Now,
argument.
my problem
now.
with southeast. I will also tell you my problem with southeast, Deji. Let me also tell you my problem with southeast. In southeast, we have a lot of politically cerebral people that can hold this country together. But it's so unfortunate. By the time you now say, oh yeah, let us take it to the southeast, you will now see even hawkers on the streets of Lagos will go back to this and say they want to become the president.
But that's
support
that's actually
and
not correct,
unification
because that's
among them
but
when
that
it
is
comes
not
to
correct,
politics.
because that's not what we're
It's what
seeing at
is
the moment.
lacking.
Excuse me,
Now-
that is not
now,
correct.
Deji, what we
we are
should now do is
seeing,
this.
just hold on.
What
What we are seeing at the moment, I mean, you look at those who have come out to say they want to contest from the southeast. They are very serious
Yes.
contenders. We've not seen hawkers,
Really?
so to speak, come out to say they want to contest.
Don't let me mention names. Deji. Don't put words into my mouth.
No. We actually don't need to mention names. I mean,
okay,
we don't need to mention
listen.
names.
Somebody who is a minister, that cannot hold that ministry properly, and there have been strike upon strike. And even when he was addressing, he couldn't address them properly.
I don't think that will be fair. I don't think that will be fair. I don't think it will be fair to judge
I'm
that
not
person
mentioning
that
them
way.
now.
But
I'm not mentioning
in any
them
case,
now.
no, but honestly, I know, but I don't think it's fair to make that kind of judgment. It's not fair. But
is it not?
other than that, what I am telling you is, all those who have come out,
somebody who cannot crawl,
all those who have come out, all those who have come out from the south,
that person to represent you in IAAF competition. Somebody who cannot run, who cannot walk, and now say wants to represent you in 100-meter dash. Will you allow such a person?
Mr. Kayode, what I'm saying is this, and which is the truth, is that no section of this country has the monopoly for knowledge, has the monopoly for producing good leadership and what have you. So it is absolutely wrong for you to say, look, that the presidency should remain in one part of the country, because
I'm not saying that.
That's where
I'm not saying that. Do you know politics?
Yeah, but
do you know politics
is
all about politicking?
That's the reason I asked you.
No, do you know politics?
Politics
is all about politicking, Deji. Politics is all about politicking and maneuvering.
I understand you very well. But what I'm trying to say is, you are trying to jettison the idea of zoning on the basis that, look, zoning would not produce anything good for the country, or would not produce good leadership. No. That is actually not correct.
See, let me tell you why, Deji. Let me tell you why in a minute.
Yes.
There is a difference between sophistication and sagacity.
Go on.
And sagacity. You can be sophisticated. When you are not sagacious, your sophistication cannot take you anywhere. But with sagacity, there is nothing you cannot achieve. And I will also explain further. Imagine a professor of mechanical engineering who cannot remove the plug of his car, talk less of removing, engine flat tire. And somebody on the street of Mavoluku, small boy, who can turn an engine inside out. Who will you give your car for repairs? That is to say, you can be educated and at the same time be relegated.
I still don't get the drift of your analogy.
Nigeria.
I still don't get the drift of your analogy.
Not until when we understand that.
No.
Not until when we understand that.
No.
That there is what we call political sagacity and political sophistication. We'll not be able to
listen to me. Whether you are talking about sophistication or sagacity, you can find people that have both in every part of this country. That's what we're saying. You can find them in every part of this country. Our situation is
able to transform such to political advantage? Are you able to transform it to political advantage?
Well,
that is my issue.
I think
now,
we'll just have to leave it there, Mr. Kayode. We've actually we've gone beyond our time. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for joining us on the program. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I always enjoy myself whenever I'm on program with you. Well
thank
done.
You. Thank you. All right. Okay, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. And now being joined on the program to continue this discussion by Jidu Ojo, who is a political affairs analyst. He joins us from Abuja via Skype. Mr. Ojo, thank you very much for joining us on the program. We're back to the debate now of zoning again, and it's a big talking point in the country. Are you surprised that we're talking about this at this time, and that especially in the APC, where everyone had thought the issue of zoning had been put to bed, that that the general assumption was that, look, the next candidate of the APC, presidential candidate of the APC now, would come from the South. But you listen to the comment of the APC chairman and some of the things we have seen recently, it doesn't appear everything is done and dusted yet.
Well, nothing surprises me in politics any longer, given the fact that as a student of politics, you need to expect the unexpected. And the power brokers in Nigeria are quite harmful. While you and I might be social media tigers and trying to moralize and sermonize, the political power brokers do not believe in sermons. They do not believe in platitudes. They believe in concrete action. And I quite understand the dilemma of the North. Let me say from the outset that I am for Igbo presidency. And I believe that the affirmative action that led to the emergence of a Yoruba president in 1999 should be brought to bear in allowing for Igbo to produce the next president of Nigeria. This is a position I've held for more than a year now. But as a student of politics, I also do realize that if you look at the issue of number of years that we have had Southerner being president and Northerner being president in this Fourth Republic, it will show that the North has been marginalized. It may come to you as a rude shock, but facts do not lie.
Is the word marginalization the right one to use, or that, look, because I mean, what happened to President Yar'Adua was you could as well describe as a force majeure. So would it be right to use the word marginalization here?
Maybe it's a misnomer to use that, but I would say if you look at the Fourth Republic, the South has had higher number of years as president than the North has. And I'm not talking about a party now, I'm talking about generally speaking, how many years has the Southerner been president, how many years has the Northerner been president. Let's take it from the beginning. Obasanjo spent 8 years.
I understand what you're saying perfectly. Look, I understand what you're saying. The question I would ask you is, how does, for instance, zoning or the next president after Buhari coming from the North, how does that balance the equation? Because you look at it, it's difficult to see how you're going to have a balanced equation. So you have a president from the North succeeding the current president. That president who comes in would want to do 8 years. So you add the 8 years to the number of years that the North would have spent in power from 1999 to date, the equation would still not be balanced. I mean, if we were to go by that calculation.
It will not be balanced, and that's why what the parties have tried to do, Deji, is that they have said that they have thrown it open. So that way you will not accuse them. They didn't say, neither PDP nor APC have said that we are zoning the president of our presidential ticket of our party to the north. What they have simply done is to throw it open. So if it's a northerner that emerges, then it becomes the candidate.
Now let me ask you this. Now, don't you think that's rather disingenuous, if you like? Because look, whether we like it or not, let's tell ourselves the truth. In both political parties, the North has an advantage. We can't deny that. The North has an inherent, it's an advantage they have, and whether we like it or not. So this whole idea of throwing it open, I mean, when you interrogate that deeply, the fact is that you discover one side has an advantage over the other. And that if you continue to throw it open that way, I mean, the result is predictable. You will continue to have a situation where one part will continue to produce the president of the country.
You are right. You are very right. But let's also be pragmatic. Power is not served a la carte.
Sure.
And you need to lobby, you need to vie for power. So while you are right to say, one, the balance will never be it will never be balanced, because if a northerner becomes the next president, is likely going to do 2 terms. It's only Atiku's camp. It's only Atiku's camp that have said that he's going to do 1 term.
But I believe you would take that with a pinch of salt.
Of course, I know that when he becomes the president, then the tune will change. But let's actually drill down. I am for Igbo presidency. I have no apologies about that. I wish and I pray that our political leaders will look at it and grant that affirmative action that will lead to an Igbo becoming president in 2023. But if we discount my own personal opinion and look at it pragmatically as a student of politics, I tell you, whether it's a northerner, a southeasterner, a southwesterner, or even someone from north central, I think the primary issue is good governance.
Absolutely.
Can the system afford to throw up a credible candidate that will unite this country, that will follow due process, that will follow rule of law, that will not be nepotistic, that will not be narcissistic, that will, play by the rule? What we are looking for is that kind of president. Because, Buhari did not just emerge as president, he emerged as president in 2015 and 2019 through the vote of North and South. And whether we are zoning to any part of this country, what will still be demanded of whoever becomes the next president is good governance, is accountable government, is due process. So that is what it comes to.
You're quite right, but the argument is that, yes, you're right. I mean, the most important thing is good governance. You want a president that delivers. But the argument is that, look, you would find people who can do this job better in every part of this country. So, true. I mean, the truth is that it's not restricted to any part of the country. No part of the country has the monopoly for producing candidates that are better or good. Or you find them everywhere. And so if you would find them everywhere, the argument is that, look, the only way you can assuage, the feelings of everyone in a system where you will find very good candidates everywhere, it's just rotated so that you have a balance, so to speak. But let me ask you this. This debate over the issue of zoning has been on for as long as we can remember now. Even before 1999, the issue of zoning was discussed, the issue of rotation. It has always been there. Don't you think it's time? It's time, for instance, we put this in our constitution so that we don't have this bickering and what have you anytime an election cycle comes around. Because the truth is, well, good people abound everywhere, every part of this country. So don't you think we should have it in the Constitution? Because the argument is always that, look, it's a gentleman's agreement. It's not in the Constitution. Oh, it's a good idea. Fantastic idea. A country like Nigeria that is, made up of several ethnic nationalities, and then you have the geopolitical zones, that the best way to carry them along is to make sure, it goes round and all of that. And it's one of the reasons why we have the federal character in our Constitution. So why can't we have zoning in our Constitution?
There is nothing that prevents us from having it. But the fear of marginalization is what has kept some people not wanting it to be in the Constitution. The North is at an advantage right now. The North is either at every election, either a king or a kingmaker.
Yes.
It's in Oyo State, it's in Ibadan, you find that the kingmakers also becoming king. So the North has that dual role. The North is either at every election a kingmaker or the king. And the North feels that in the last 12 years, 13 years of insurgency, there have been a lot of devastation of their environment, and the only thing that is serving them is power, the presidency. So if they hold on to the presidency, they will be able to serve the interest of their people. They will be able to push projects to their people. They will be able to ameliorate the sufferings of their people. That's the rationale behind. You see, ab initio, APC seems like a fait accompli that power will shift to the south.
To the south,
in
yes.
APC. But the fear of APC is that in the event that PDP produces an Atiku Abubakar,
yes,
who already has huge following, at every election could get up to 10 million, 11 million votes, and you now field a southerner, it will be like the case of Buhari versus Goodluck Jonathan in 2015. And while Goodluck Jonathan lost election even as a sitting president, as an incumbent, it will be bad because this time around, APC, the president, Muhammadu Buhari, will not be on the ballot.
Yes.
So the clout that Buhari will always get 12 million votes from the North, he may be disinterested in even canvassing.
Absolutely.
For votes. So what I see is APC playing the game theory. We call it game theory in political science. Game theory with PDP. And there is only a couple of days separating the PDP convention for selecting or electing presidential candidates and that of APC. So APC doesn't want to lose out in the 2023 presidential election, and watching very carefully the possibility of Turaki Adamawa becoming the next ticket holder, presidential ticket holder of APC.
Of PDP.
It then means that we are back to the 2015 scenario where Buhari already had about 11, 12 million supporters at every election and just needed the alliance of the Southwest to be able to tilt the presidential election in his favor. So I think that, and I believe by now, Deji, the APC will have done some opinion survey that will have given them indication of how the next election will be won and lost.
And lost, yes.
Don't forget that a couple of days ago, the president invited Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to a private meeting in Aso Rock, and he didn't come out to tell us exactly what they discussed. But I think it's all about the next the presidential primary. So the bottom line is that APC cannot afford to lose out in the 2023 presidential election.
They obviously would
Because
not want to.
If it does, it means it's just a seasonal party. That, and you know, people have said that there may not be APC after Buhari. So Buhari is mindful of that. He wants to leave a legacy that is not the only president of APC, but that he was able to transit to another APC government after his 8 years in power. So it's a mutual suspicious thing.
Yes.
And you know, 24 hours, we said, is a long time in politics. So if, peradventure, if on the 29th of this month, PDP decides to choose someone from the south or southeast,
yes,
then APC will also follow suit.
Definitely.
And take the camp, knowing full well that they will now divide the votes of the north. But in the event that the PDP produces a northern candidate, it might be very dicey for APC to zone power to the southwest or south.
Absolutely. And I think it's on that note we just have to leave it. Thank you very much, Jide Ojo, for joining us on the program and for your deep insights there. Thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure. Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Well, that's how much we can take on the program. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.